And it was StraightSmile Solutions, and today we're going to be talking about Myobrace, MRC, specifically the Myobrace infant trainer system, the Myobrace just MRC trainer system in general. I've seen, no joke, probably 500 to 800 of these cases over the last 5 years that I've been doing orthodontic consulting. It wasn't something that I normally used in my practice, but now that I've seen a lot of cases going pretty well, and also a lot of their cases going really badly, I have a really good handle on when I would recommend that you use this system, what kind of cases it's appropriate for, and when to proceed. So overall, I'm going to give it a 2 thumbs up rating for certain kinds of cases. Now, I have tried to contact the Myobrace founders, owners, CEOs for the last 5 years. I think once I got a phone call with somebody locally. It's a little disappointing because honestly, most vendors, when I call them and say I'm going to do a blog piece on them, I'm going to review their system, it's a really honest review. It often gets them a lot of sales if it's a positive review. And usually they're very cool about sending me samples so I can actually do an unboxing, show you close up. MRC has never done that for me. So they get 2 thumbs down for communication. I've also heard very negative things about communication, about their course being very negative. A waste of time. Most doctors think the course is unnecessary, so I wouldn't recommend taking the course. I've heard nothing positive about it. It's a waste of $1,800 as far as I'm concerned. You can order their appliances with no support for without taking a course, which I think is cool. But you have to know how to use them. So you can't just like randomly throw them at a patient because it's not going to work. And you need to know what cases are going to be appropriate. And of course, you need to have a great compliance system set up in your office already. So if you know how to use these and what cases to use them for, you will have success, assuming you have a great compliance program set up. Okay. So good news about the MRC appliances is that they are low cost. Bad news is that their durability is really poor. So be prepared to replace them several times. And I don't think that you get a refund on chew throughs or bite throughs. So just keep that in mind. So price point for the trainers, as far as I see for US dollars, is about $60. Okay, if you're ordering less than 10 at a time. You can stock them in your office, which is nice, and buy them in bulk. You buy 31 plus appliances, you get them at $45, which is, but considering these probably cost them $3 to make, you know, they're still getting a pretty good, uh, you know, ROI on that. So, and there's also another version of this that you can get in the US. It's called U-Concept. It's a French company. You can order it from Great Lakes. I think theirs are $72 an appliance. Or maybe they're 40. It's somewhere in there. It's a little bit more, I think, than MRC. Shipping on the appliances is $15 for up to 10 items, just so you know. So there's only two components of the MRC system that I would recommend. All the other ones I think are relatively useless. I've seen thousands of them, no joke. So I do recommend the trainers, and I do also recommend, we're going to be talking a little bit more about their just general kids appliances, juniors appliances, their J1s and K1s, and we'll get to that shortly. But let's talk about the trainers in this review first. I'm pretty excited about the trainers. I can use the U-Concept ones too. Those work as well. There are a couple other vendors out there. There's also ways to modify existing appliances that are even cheaper, custom and semi-custom, to make them kind of like this, because I can bling them out. So if you don't want to use this system, there's lots of other ways. So feel free to buzz me. It's something that I help doctors with all the time. So let me give you kind of their narrative on the why behind it, okay? So let's start with the, we're going to start with the infant trainer. We've got that, okay? So you got infant, you've got T4K, you've got T4B, I think it's called, and T4A. These names are incredibly confusing to me, I can tell you that. So I can't even keep them all clear. So for the most part, I mean, I think that the infant trainer, it's for ages 2 to 5 is good. The trainer for kids, the T4K is good. They have a soft and a hard, so you might have to work your way through. It's always a good idea to start with the soft and then move your way up to the hard, right? All the other ones, I don't think is really necessary, the ones for the bigger kids. So overall goal, so let me tell you a little bit about the infant one. So the infant one is a single size appliance that encourages patients to chew correctly. So let's go back to the whole thing about how our jaws are generally underdeveloped because of our soft diet, because we're not exclusively breastfeeding for 2 years. We're using bottles and pacifiers, right? Very few of us are going from the way we're supposed to be, which is nursing for 2 years exclusively, onto hard and chewy foods that are not cooked and processed. bones, meat on the bones, chewy vegetables, stuff like that. It's just not happening unless you're in a tribe. So for that reason, crowding happens, right? And bite issues happen because our jaws are underdeveloped. So the infant trainer is supposed to encourage nasal breathing and help to improve the correct swallow, the correct tongue position, etc. So, I mean, would I use it on every infant? No, not at all. And by infant, it's 2 to 5, so it's not really an infant. But if I saw a patient who was actively mouth breathing, not nasal breathing, tongue thrusting, things like that, it would definitely be a benefit. Of course, you'd have to do a sleep questionnaire first. I don't know that Myobrace has one. I have one that I use. So if you're interested, you're welcome to contact me and get a copy of it, info@straightsmilesolutions.com. I just have to verify that you are a licensed dentist before I give it to you. But yeah, I mean, I can see a point for the infant trainer for sure. It does help a little bit with tooth alignment as well, tongue position, has a tongue guard and a lip bumper. So where I like it the most would be more the T4K, which is age 5 to 8. Okay, so that's a pre-orthodontic trainer for kids. This is the one that I use the most. Okay, so again, there's a soft and a hard. Start with the soft, move on to the hard. I would definitely buy 2 appliances. So it's effective in the early mixed dentition while the permanent anterior teeth are erupting. Myofunctional design characteristics treat the causes of malocclusion. Okay, so it also helps with tongue position. So great, it helps them nasal breathe at night. So I would recommend that. Again, you're going to need to get soft and hard. So your lab fee is going to be somewhere around, with shipping, $150 per patient. So just things to know. And it comes in a variety of colors. So these are good. I've also done some cool modifications of these appliances where you can add, especially if a patient has a little bit of an underbite, you can customize it, cut it out so you can get some flaring of the front teeth. You can add some bite bumps to the back teeth to help to raise the bite and get some intrusion. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do with these, okay? So that is the trainer system for kids and young kids. So again, ages 2 to 8 is who I'd use it for. If you're starting to see some issues of bite problems, of narrow arches, this is a great way, underbites, overbites. This is a great way to get started in young kids before you're ready to get moving with another set of appliances to actually fix the bite. So in terms of what I would charge, it really depends on what country you're in. So most of my doctors are charging a D8210 for this. So it's a removable appliance therapy for oral habits for the most part. If you want to make a longer commitment and you're going to commit all the way through to fully fixing their bite, which this is not going to necessarily do, and maybe even putting some 2x4s initial anterior braces on, or doing some phase 1 aligners on the front teeth, then you can charge out your D8060. So price point, what I would charge, really depends on the insurance. If you're doing the D8210, you're probably going to charge around $1,000-ish. Lab fee is $150, and then your time. So I think that sounds pretty fair. This is a no promises thing. Of course, it's based on compliance, right? So if the patient's not wearing it, it's not going to work. Not much else you can do at that age. I wouldn't be doing anything fixed in the whole 2 to 7, 2 to 8 age range. I don't normally glue anything on teeth. It's a little too brutal. Starting at age 7.5, 8, we can move on to more complex appliance systems. So it really depends, like again, if you want to be charging out your D8060, which is phase 1 interceptive orthodontics, or if you want to be charging out just a removable appliance therapy. Depends on what type of commitment you want to give them. So glad to talk to you more about that. As always, you can visit StraightSmileSolutions.com, submit your questions and comments, and I'll be glad to help you further. All right, thanks so much.